Brian Gray of Leaf Trading Cards made some waves, a few ripples out there when he put out a pro set card of himself, autographed. We're going to dig into this today. Hey guys, welcome back. It is another day. It is another card video. And today we are reacting. It's another reaction video to Brian Gray, the CEO or president of Leaf. Not sure his exact title. He runs Leaf Trading Cards. And let me first off disclose, I don't have any sort of personal relationship with Brian. Brad and I did have him on off-centered, maybe going back 6 or 7 months back. He came on the show. He's a high energy guy, kind of a hype man for the hobby. But while he is a hype man, he is not afraid to speak his mind and then also give bad news as well, if that's his honest thought. And I think that this is kind of a refreshing thing because there's a lot of kind of industry CEOs or presidents that first off, they're not even out there. They're not out in the, in the public forum. They're not interested in really talking to anybody. And then also, even if they are coming out and talking, it's just kind of the usual type interview, where it's very high level. They're not going to really touch on anything semi-controversial at all. And maybe that's more of kind of a professional way of going about it. They don't want to kind of cause any waves. And industry folks do this. Industry folks, for the most part, they all stick together and they don't want to cause any big waves. They just kind of do their thing and they support each other, really. Yes, they might be competing against each other, but they don't necessarily want one to fail or another to fail or a bunch to fail because they're all tied together. They're all part of the same ecosystem. And so that's why I like how Brian will just speak his mind. So like I said, I don't have any sort of formal relationship with him. I've only met him the one time on the live stream. But like I said, it was a positive experience and now we'll dig in. So he came out with a card. It was either this week, last week, whatever. And it's essentially a card of himself. It's a pro set card, which of course I'm a big pro set guy going back to 89 pro set football. It's a picture of himself holding up a card. It's kind of like superhero of the card hobby is kind of what he's getting at with the card. And it is autographed by him. It is print to order. So it's one of those things where if it's sells 1 million, he'll print 1 million of them. I guess he'll sign 1 million cards. If he sells 8 of them, he'll sign 8 of them. So he's got it set up to where, and he's got other things as well. If you look at the site, there's a few other products as well that are lined up like that are print to order. And so there's a bunch of, pushback on this. Like, how dare somebody have the audacity to make a card of themselves? What kind of an ego do you have to make, this sort of card, of yourself? And I'm thinking like, who the hell cares that much? I mean, honestly, like if you look around in our hobby, you look at a lot of the industry folks, are you trying to tell me that there's not big egos all over the place? Whether it be industry folks or podcasters or YouTubers or whatever. I mean, everybody's got some sort of ego out there and everybody's very proud of what they're doing, etc. And so I just think it's funny when you get like pushback, especially when it comes down to ego. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, here's the real reality of it. If it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If he sells 1 million of them, he'll probably do a series 2, a series 3, a series 4. I would. I mean, that's business. And if it doesn't sell, if it flops, then they probably won't do it anymore. That's what businesses do, though. They come out with different products or trying to innovate, trying to come up with different ideas. And I wonder, too, if Panini or if Topps or if Upper Deck had come out with something like this, would people have reacted the same way? Or is it because it's Brian and Brian's kind of polarizing in certain circles? Is that why everybody is worked up about it? I mean, to me, it's just interesting. And he have also referenced the Hamlin card, the football player that had cardiac arrest on the field that almost died. And there was cards that Leaf came out with, prayers answered, and they are autographed by Hamlin. So the assumption, of course, is that Brian made a deal with Hamlin to be able to sell these cards. And a bunch of people, now look, if it was a card that didn't have Hamlin's autograph on it, there was no deal in place, then I could understand, people getting kind of worked up as like, oh, you're just trying to sell cards with his face on it, and his name on it. And that's not cool if he's not getting any sort of a deal out of it or whatever. But the real truth is this guy probably never plays another down of football in his life. It wasn't like, a superstar player. It wasn't a Tom Brady that's already made a few $100 million in the league that he can now go and just, rest on for the rest of his days. No, I mean, this guy was a rookie, so he probably has a couple $1,000,000, which granted, it's a lot of money, but a couple $1,000,000 isn't what it used to be. And he's not going to retire off of that. He will continue to have to work. And so look, if he is able to get endorsement deals, if he's able to go on TV and do interviews, and if he's able to get any sort of money from this, I'm all for it. And so it just happened to be Leaf that provided this card, as an option. And Leaf said that, hey, we'll donate a portion of proceeds to charities, to his charity or charities of his choice. But, people are like, oh my gosh, he should have donated 50, he should have donated more or specified this or that. Sure, I guess it would have been nice if Brian had said like, okay, we're going to put 70%. He puts like a hard number on it instead of leaving it up. I think he just put a percentage. So people are like, oh, is it 1% or is it 99%? And people are always going to push back. But again, I don't really understand the expectation that a manufacturer would build a product and give 100% of the proceeds away as well. Sure, that would be amazing. It'd be very charitable, but it's a business and businesses have to run. There's been the last few years have been boom times. Businesses have made a lot of money. There's also been a lot of lean years as well. People act like, businesses that have been around for decades, they're just churning. They're always just making money. That is not the case. There's probably way more lean years, and then the boom years kind of hope to set you up and build up the war chest so that you can survive more down times. And maybe there's people that want to support Hamlin, but they're not sure if they want to give money to a charity. Look, here's the truth too, is a lot of charities, 90% of the money that you get administration fees. It's not actually going to people that are hungry or in need. It goes to all this other BS. So maybe people are like, oh, cool, I get something out of it. I can buy this Hamlin auto card. I know he's also getting something on the back end. That's kind of a win-win. And so I guess it's just, I'm curious why people look at it this way. And I understand the timing of maybe Brian Leaf being able to get these out as quickly as they did. Maybe the timing of it irked some people, but even still, if it was Panini or if it was Topps or if it was Upper Deck, I just don't know if the reaction would be the same. I don't, and maybe it would be. I don't know, and so that's where I'll leave it, I guess, is just, if you want it, buy it. If you don't want it, don't buy it. But to go on kind of a tirade about like, oh man, this is such a horrible thing, and I can't believe that somebody would have the audacity, to do this. It's like, who cares? I actually don't mind seeing companies, whether it be Leaf or Upper Deck or Topps or whoever it is, when they do come out with innovative type products, whatever that might be, even if it is a picture of the CEO on a card, it's something different. Everyone's always whining about the designs are all the same, and no, these companies don't innovate and they don't do this. And then when a company does innovate, then they're not happy about that either. So I guess it's like one of those no-win scenarios, which is maybe that's kind of the obvious truth here, but it's worth talking about. I wanted to react to it. Guys, have an amazing day ahead. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.